What's up, my fabulous love bug goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen how to cook. And today we're making oven baked salmon in the kitchen. Fast, easy, and simple. Make sure you subscribe goodie if you have not, and turn on the post notifications so you won't miss any other upload. And for all I'm returning goodie on a don't know so on a girl loving her and ready to cook. Come on, let's cook. Okay, goodies, let's cook. Now we have our salmon here that has been washed nice and clean with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar. Now I am going to be keeping on the skin of the salmon simply because it's going to give this fish a nice moisture in the middle. Now you can take it off if you want, but in my kitchen we're going to keep this on for this recipe. Now we're going to make slice. Now your desired slice as far as cutting your salmon is your choice. Me, I don't want it to be too thick, neither do I want it to be too thin. I just want it to be in the center. Now if you guys are wondering where I purchased this fish, I did purchase this in Aldi's supermarket and I paid about $24 for this fish. I love to buy salmon in Aldi's. It's always nice and juicy there. So go ahead and check out your Aldi's nearest to you. They have some really nice pieces of fish in their stores, okay? All right, so like I was saying before, you could always take the skin off, but we're going to leave skin on here. Now, this is what the fish looks like. As you could see, it's nice and thick and a beautiful color, right? We're going to season up this fish really delicately, but you still want to season it nice, but you don't need to worry about the back part because it has the skin on there. So you're going to season the top portion of your fish. Now in a container to season, I added some salt, and as you can see, I'm not measuring nothing here. I added some black pepper, then I'm going to add some onion powder to the mix. And I'm also going to add some garlic powder. Now when I add garlic powder to anything that I'm seasoning, I always add just a tad more of the garlic powder than I do the onion. And then we're going to add some of this Ocherio's fish seafood season, fish fry seafood season. It is so delicious, y'all. You need to give the season a try. The seasoning is everything, okay? I love Ocherio's, and of course the product is everything. All right, give it a try. Now if you don't want to use Old Bay season, I have this combo season. You could use all-purpose season, you could use original all-purpose season with no salt added, but use whatever you like, right? Now also I did add some turmeric to it. I added some paprika for color, right? The turmeric does a nice little buzz to it, and I added some dried pepper flakes. I'm going to add everything that I used for the recipe in the description, but don't leave out some garlic, okay? I also added some homemade green seasoning to the mix. I do have that on my channel. And I added some avocado oil because this is what I have. Now, if you don't have avocado oil, use whatever oil that you choose to use in your kitchen. But right now, the avocado may I use only because that's what I have at hand right now. All right, now you go in and you give it a good mix, just like so. All right, now your mixture, right? You don't want it to be too thick, and you definitely don't want it to be too thin. Right here is perfect. Anything this consistency is perfect, absolutely perfect. You could add maybe a little bit more oil to it, goodie, but don't make it watery and runny. Okay, you want to be sure when you put this thing on the fish, it sits, because you're going to bake this fish, so you want it to be sitting on the fish. Now, what I did do though, before I actually add the seasonings to it, I did go in and make some slits in the middle of the fish because I'm going to pack the seasonings into the crack of the fish for additional flavor. You go on. Let me tell you something. You're going to love this recipe, okay? Just make sure to give it a try. Now, while I was seasoning this fish at this particular point, I went ahead and turned on the oven. You need to make sure the oven is at least at a 375 degrees or 350. Anywhere there is perfect for this fish, right? Now, when you're going to bake this fish, you want to bake it for, I'll say, maybe about 45 minutes. You don't want to overcook the salmon. All right, now for me, I did bake mine uncovered, but you could cover it up with some foil or whatever if that's what you want to do, but I did leave mine uncovered because I wanted to achieve that slight little crisp on the top with the seasoning. Did that make sense, right? But anywho, this is what your fish should look like after you season. Now, goodie, if your fish don't look like this with the seasoning all packed on there, you definitely did something wrong as far as seasoning is concerned. Just go back and add some more of the green seasoning, or you could go ahead and add a little bit more of the garlic. I did use chopped garlic though, but you could just go ahead and add some more seasons to it because you want to be sure that your fish is seasoned to the T. All right, good seasoning, good tasting food, just like so. I did let it sit for about 25 minutes or so before I actually start to think about putting it in the oven. Now, this little thing is a tray that I purchased in the Dollar Tree. I always have something like that set up in my house. I just went ahead and put some foil on top of that, sprayed it with some cooking spray, or you could use butter, or you could use oil to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And then I added some thyme to the mix. All right, so we just lay it with some thyme. You could use rosemary if that's what you have. And then I also added some green onion, or scallion me call it. Just slice up some of that, baby. If you don't want to go the scallion route, you could also add onions, you guys. Listen, just put in whatever season that you are comfortable using in your kitchen. Add it to the bottom of the container, okay? Now, after you've added in there, that's when you are going to go in and you're going to go in and pack in the fish. Now, one more thing that I wanted to tell you before you guys put your fish in the oven. Just give the fish some space to breathe. So you don't want to have them all sucked up together. Make sure say they give the fish some room to breathe. So that way, once the fish touch the oven, preheated oven, make sure say put this in a preheated oven. Once you put it in the oven, all the seasons on the bottom will start to explode in flavor, and it's going to go not only in the middle of the fish but all around the perimeter of the fish. So it is very critical to make sure that you're following this step. Now, before I went ahead and let it marinate for a little bit, I did add just a top bit of honey. Any kind of a honey you have to use it. I also sometimes when I'm making this recipe, I use maple syrup sometimes also. But I did go also in and sprinkle a little bit of dried parsley on top of the fish. If you have fresh one, you can use it. You could use oregano, whatever you have. Just go ahead and sprinkle on top and set it aside and let it sit for a little while. All right, while it was in the oven baking, it was time to make the sauce for the fish. So what I did, I got some fresh parsley and I chopped it up. I kind of minced it out. Okay, not even chop. We're going to mince it all the way out until it looks pretty much like this, okay? Very minced, diced out. And then after you have completed that step, you want to go in and add the rest of the ingredients, which is some fresh garlic. And you're going to add some butter here. I'm using unsalted, but use whatever you have, no matter. But be sure that you add your favorite oil to the mix. And again, I'm choosing to use avocado oil, which tastes so good with the recipe. Add a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's all that I'm doing here. All right, perfect. I put it in the microwave for about less than a minute and allow it to melt. Depending on your microwave, it could be a little over a minute or so, but mine was less than a minute and it was melted just like this. That's all it takes. You don't have to add any more seasons or anything to this. This is if it doesn't look like this, again, you did something wrong. It has to look just like so. All right, and this is going to be your base coat when you are done with your fish. Okay, perfect. All right, so now the fish is all done. It looks pretty much like that. Look at that. This fish right here is cooked to perfection. It was cooked in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. It was perfect at 350 350 degrees. That's what I put it on, 350 degrees, but it's okay to put it on 375. It's going to work just perfect, just fine, because you want to have that little golden thing going on top. Okay, I did make some a cornbread casserole also for dinner. I do have the recipe up. I didn't want to go ahead and put this recipe up for you guys today because I already made it. I'll put the link for the cornbread casserole in the description so you could go ahead and follow. Now it is semi-hot and semi-cold. It's right in the middle. You can't cut this. Let me tell you something. You can't cut this thing when it's cold because it's going to fall apart. Period. Because this is a casserole. So I did let it sit after I was done with baking it. Let it sit for, I say, maybe about 30 minutes. And then when I went in and started cutting it into my desired pieces, my family love when I make my version of cornbread casserole. And you guys are going to love it too. If you did not ever try my recipe with the casserole, you're going to love it, right? I also made some gungo rice and peas. I have this recipe on the channel. I didn't want to go ahead and make this one for you guys, but I did use the basmati rice for this one. Also, I will put the link on how to make Jamaican gungo rice and peas using the canned peas, right? And it tastes absolutely amazing. And this is what the meal looks like, you guys. It's perfect. It's done. As you can see, look at that. Look at that. That sauce is saucing. The thing turn up loud. You're going to love this recipe. Just do me a favor, goodie. Tell a friend for tell a friend. Share the love with the man up the road, the girl down the street. Goodie. Bring them come and send them come and tell them we are going over here, okay? And when you get done doing all of that, tell me where you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Enjoy.